All right, take two. Welcome. We're gonna wait a minute to let people jump in.
I think it's still yuck.
And see what happens. That just might be our view. Maybe turn that on.
Okay, let's try that.
Much better, Nikki says. Okay.
Oh, okay, good.
We'll let people slide in, get in here. It's perfect now. Okay, good.
Should I move the lights back?
No, they're fine. Okay, loading. Everyone's jumping in. Okay, cool. So since we restarted, just do a quick. We had to switch the internet. That looks fine on our end.
Is it?
Yeah, that Spectrum internet. They promote themselves as the best, yet we seem to always have issues with ours.
Always.
I don't know about.
Oh, it's making our forehead wrinkles look awful.
I don't know about y'all, but our Spectrum sometimes is a bit laggy and makes things difficult. But just gonna restart this whole thing for those who are just jumping back in. We do have a new schedule. Launched a couple new shows. Vikings is our. Don't do that.
What?
No, don't do that.
What?
Well, don't remember last time you clicked on a comment.
But you can read it.
Yeah, don't do that. Just a quick schedule update. We've been trying to update everyone as often as we can in every moment that we can. Vikings is our new premium show, 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Those are the published dates for that. And we're starting Better Call Saul. We're actually going to start watching that tonight for Monday. It's going to be the first publish will be on Monday. And we're going to finish Cobra Kai. We have 5 episodes left in that we're going to crank out and get going.
If there are only more hours in the damn day.
Yeah. So getting through that, and that's the schedule moving forward. 3 shows, 5 days a week. And we'll try to maybe sprinkle in stuff here and there as we find time.
Like sprinkle a day off.
With addition to the podcast, which is going to take a week off this week. And for all of y'all who want to compare Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones, don't ask us about that here because we're going to do a full podcast about that, which will be the next one, not this week, but next week because we're taking the week off from the podcast. And this here, we're here to celebrate Game of Thrones.
Because without it,
yeah,
where would we be?
There's plenty of negative to be said about the show. It's all been said. Let's try to focus on the good and try to celebrate how amazing the show is and how much it changed pretty much all of our lives. Anybody who's a hardcore fan of this show, it probably affected you one way or another. Mm-hmm. So the way we're going to do things like we always do, we're going to start off with our patron questions. And I hate to say this, and I don't like to do this, but it's just the fact that if you want a question or comment to be seen in the chat, 100% guaranteed, super chat it. That is the easiest way to guarantee that we will see your comment. So yeah, just throw that out there. I hate that that's the case, but this chat moves so fast that sometimes it's hard to catch stuff. Like, just be honest. You got a lot of people throwing.
Otherwise, I'd be doing this the whole time,
right?
Just staring.
And we'll do our best to get into the chat like we always like to do, and we'll answer some questions and take comments about stuff that's not related to Game of Thrones at the end. Mm-hmm. But let's just jump into this. We've got a decent amount of stuff from the Patreon, which is one of the perks over there, is being able to, get your questions and answers. You get a priority on that stuff. And starting,
Steven has street cred in the dirt south. What?
So starting off with Brian Garrett, same question as I asked for Breaking Bad, favorite line in the show. So Game of Thrones, what's your favorite line in the show?
Oh.
Nikki's wearing it. Nikki's wearing her favorite line in this shirt.
Leave one
First time talking.
Yeah, there we go. Leave one wolf alive and the sheep are never safe.
Yeah, I picked 3. The first one is probably the most obvious, and something ever since we heard this quote, it's basically been what this show is. Mm-hmm. If you thought this had a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention. Seriously.
You know what also is a good one? The night is dark
and full of terror. Yeah, because it's true. It is. The other one I picked, got to rep a little Ned Stark here because he's the man. The man who passes the sentence.
I should have brought him over.
The man who passes the sentence should swing the sword. Such a strong, powerful quote. And then I picked a third from Tywin Lannister, right? I think it was Tywin who said this. A lion does not concern himself with the opinions of sheep. That is so true. Don't worry about the opinions of, anybody really is the way it should be.
Unless they're important to you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a fun one. There's so many great ones. You know nothing, Jon Snow. There's so many great quotes.
Yes.
Jackie, has Game of Thrones changed your lives in any way? It sure has for me. This show is how I found you guys. Yes, this show 100% changed our lives.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we'd be where we are right now doing this.
Here you go. Stick them with a pointy end.
Yeah, that's a great one too.
That.
If it wasn't for Game of Thrones and starting this show, I don't think we'd be here right now.
No, we wouldn't. There's two different ways that it's changed our lives. First off, it's an amazing fucking show.
Yeah.
It's so good. Secondly, 81,000 subscribers much? Yeah. All the subscribers.
Yeah, it's been...
Which, it makes you editing all these videos so totally worth it when people are like, hey, I noticed what you're doing and I like it.
Yeah. And Jacob Franklin throwing in, no, it's I Drink and Know Things by Tyrion.
Yeah.
That is a spectacular.
That is true.
Spectacular quote. I mean, he struggled at the end knowing things. He definitely didn't stop drinking, though.
No.
That's for sure.
Did you bring wine?
And thank you, Cree Dog. Appreciate that. But yeah, outside of just the YouTube thing.
Is that supposed to be a different color?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Just all of the relationships too that we've been able to create just from the community. It's just
he's a Baratheon is my favorite line.
That is, yeah. Seriously.
That's not nice.
That's seriously. That'll forever be the legacy of this YouTube channel.
Yes.
Is he's a Baratheon?
How anybody who ever made fun of me, I just want to smack y'all.
It's amazing. Absolutely.
He had dark hair. It's the first thing that popped in my mind because the seed is strong. Yeah.
And that moment was so shocking. It was just my brain was just spinning in circles. Just what? Huh? What?
And it's I got Rhaegar right, but
you just said it wrong.
I said it with the L because the dragon was named after Rhaegar and it's Rhaegar. Okay, whatever. Anyways, Bill Stevens, more of a comment than a question. Game of Thrones showed me that when I do get published, my stories will be a bit different from GRRM's fantasy, but different. Well, Bill, let us know when that's ready, man. From Mustack Reviews, hey guys, I've been a watcher for some time and have always loved your reaction. Wasn't 100% satisfied with Jon's ending, but still fantastic show.
We're going to talk about, I think we'll talk about Jon's ending, but I agree. Everyone else it's been a week since I will finish. And my initial feeling, the moment the show ended, was complete and utter, just anticlimactic. I was upset. And then we did the podcast. I got to read a bunch of comments from people and kind of rewatch it and see things. And my opinion changed. There's no question. There's issues. And I think the biggest issue is just the fact of how rushed it was and just how they got.
It's lagging again.
We can't do anything about it. We just got to keep going.
Sorry, guys.
And it changed a little bit. And then I got to work and I talked to a bunch of guys at work. And they all hated. That's one of the who asked that question. We'll get to it. But my opinion has changed even more at this point. And it's yeah, there's plenty wrong with it. There's a lot wrong with it. But a lot of the stuff makes sense. Brandon being king, it's anticlimactic and it's not the most interesting thing in the world, but it makes sense because he was the one pulling all the strings. He was the puppet master. everybody else.
Bernie. Hi, Bernie.
Everybody else was playing checkers and he was playing chess this whole time. And it's not fair because he has magic powers. But like that's an example. Like I'm so less negative about it now. Like, how are you feeling a week later?
I mean, I'm glad that I watched it. The main thing is that it was rushed. Sorry, heads up. Icebreaker, thank you. Fun fact, Robert Baratheon's grandmother was a Targ.
Interesting.
See, so I wasn't wrong. No, I was kidding. But I don't know. Like, I love watching it, and it's super fun watching it. And then, but just like once it's over, you're like, oh, well, okay. It's over now.
I mean, it is still shocking that it's over.
Because, okay, I mean, I think I've said this before, but you know, like when you're planning a big event and then like the big event happens and then afterwards you're kind of just like, oh, I don't really have anything to look forward to now.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
It's kind of the letdown is that luckily they're doing prequels, which, you know, the one thing, and I know this is, I'm almost willing to bet that this is what's going to happen. I think the reason we didn't get anything on the Night King in terms of his backstory or what his motives were or any of that stuff is they're probably going to give it to us in the prequel series. I think that's a horrible thing to do in a, like, when you've presented somebody as something in a show and then be like, oh, wait, we don't have time to tell his story. Just put a halt on that. We'll tell it in the prequels, like that. That's a really dangerous thing to do because obviously a lot of people were let down and pissed off about the whole Night King thing. But yeah, there are luckily things to look forward to. Hopefully the prequels are as good as the show and, you know, hopefully they do the right amount of episodes and they wrap it up the way it's supposed to. And because that's that is legit. Like, not every show is Breaking Bad. Like, it is hard to wrap up a show, especially one as big and popular as Game of Thrones. But I mean, they put themselves in their own problem by only doing 6 episodes. So,
Must-Hack Reviews, thank you again. I came to terms with a lot of things about the episode, like Bran being the king and stuff, when I realized this has been about House Stark all along. Yeah,
it's true.
And then from Brandon McCavick's, I'm sorry. Thank you. And a quote from your new show, Vikings, perfectly sums up Game of Thrones. Power is always dangerous. It attracts the worst and corrupts the best.
Power is power. Power is power. David Olson wants to know if we agree with all the backlash that season 8 is getting. Do you agree with it?
Some, not all.
I went on I'm sure you guys have seen my rant about the petition. But I fully support the people who are upset and all the criticism and backlash that it's getting, because you've invested time, you've invested money. HBO is not free. You've invested a lot of time. The book readers have invested an insane amount of time. So yeah, I fully support the idea of being critical and the backlash. It's just like these actors and the workers put so much work into it, and it's just like, I don't want anything that they've ever done to be diminished in any way at all. So yeah, I mean, people deserve and have every right to be critical, and yeah, support that. Just there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And a lot of it's been wrong from what I've seen. The wrong message has gotten out in terms of their criticism. But yeah, be critical. Go ahead. You have every right.
For anybody wondering why we're not answering you, do you see this?
Yeah,
it's like going like crazy.
It's going very
like
quick.
The super chats pop up and they're like super duper bright and bold and like in like a colored gigantic box, so you literally can't get past them.
Yeah.
But like, we have to go through the patron questions. We will try to get as much of the chat as we possibly can. Please don't feel like we're ignoring you.
Yeah.
That's not the intent. We love all you guys. We want to read. I mean, I would love to just sit here and read all of your comments. I totally would. I try to anyways. But we do have our moderators in here. If you're spoiling anything, it will be removed.
And if you're blatantly doing something, you will be removed permanently.
Yeah. Don't spoil the fun for everybody, y'all.
So.
And to Deranged Lunatic, thank you very much. I think Danny got hosed in this last season, thanks D&D.
See, Danny's story is one that I'm like, I didn't want that for her, but it totally made sense to me. It totally clicked. I saw the potential of where she ended up very early on in this show, especially after rewatching some stuff early on. Like it fit, and I thought the development of her made sense all the way to the end. Obviously, it was super rushed. That's probably the biggest problem. Is that it was like, I think that's the main word of disappointment is rushed.
I mean,
rushed.
I've been saying that since the first episode. It just felt rushed.
Yeah. Nikki was on that train from the moment it took off. So
thank you to Adrian Webb. I feel grateful for what we got considering D&D. We're only planning on doing 7 seasons, but compromised. Really? Yeah. First time reading and talking on age. George R.R. Martin wanted to do 10 to 12 seasons. Oh, that would have been so long.
Yeah, he was on record saying that they could go forever, basically.
And Bill, I think his dog knows Dothraki. Nikki, Aegon, my service dog, says, Macha Raun Ana Khaleesi. Greetings, my queen. Stephen, he will never respond to Jon Snow.
Do I have to retire that now?
We were talking about that earlier. Like, oh, I'm going to have to retire it.
I'm going to have to retire Jon Snow. Jon Snow!
Oh, my God.
My one true king, Jon Snow. So Justin wants to know who would you have liked to see serve as king at the end of the series? Who would you have liked to see as king?
Jon.
Or queen?
Jon.
See,
all the things.
I just want Jon to be happy. I know Jon didn't want to be king. As much as I would have loved to see him, sitting on that throne. I thought like when I actually got a chance to think about this, I thought it would have been really interesting to actually have Gendry as king, just because I loved his father was super dope. Baratheon was the last official king. I thought it would be really cool to see him on the throne. But is this the one that this is the one that died on this, right?
Does it?
Delete that. Yeah.
Are you sure that just didn't delete something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I thought it would be pretty cool to see Gendry. I know he probably didn't want it either, but Gendry Baratheon on the throne would have been pretty dope. So no. Why?
He doesn't have the gusto.
How do you know? He was never given an opportunity.
Well, Cindy, what's up, girl? Thank you very, very much. If they knew the Night King was going to be eliminated before Cersei, I wish it had been the season 7 finale so that all season 8 could have been the demise of Dany.
Yeah, I think
I'm with you, friend.
I feel like 100%. Like
there's so much buildup.
Original
Night King, so much.
If they did it right, like previous seasons before 7, like the whole Dany and Jon situation alone would have been spread out across an entire season. Like the fact that Jon had that conversation with Tyrion and then just walked up to Dany and had that conversation with her, it's like, no. Jon probably would have spent multiple episodes mulling it over and being like, oh my God, what do I do? Like, just be like, oh, okay, see you, Tyrion. All right, hey, what's up, Daenerys? Yeah, you'll always be queen.
Yeah.
Like, definitely, like, again, I think and the ironic thing is, there were so many moments in the season of people with, like, these super long, dramatic walks to places. But, like, instead of having, like, Tyrion spend 10 minutes walking through King's Landing, maybe they could have had, like, a different story. Or instead of having Jaime and Euron have a fight, they could have spent 5 minutes to have Jon and the Night King have a fight or something. Lots of stuff like that.
Thank you to Jacob, Jacob Franklin. Thank you so much for your reactions. Best reaction channel, period. Best series ever, regardless. Rushing the last series. Last season, maybe. John needs a belly rub as much as a good boy Ghost deserves.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Ghost.
I mean, that's the thing. I think Game of Thrones will forever be bigger than one season. But again, obviously, it's hard to like go back and watch certain things and be like, oh, that's how that's going to play out. Like, oh, that's how it's going to like. I know that's really hard, and I think the rewatch factor of Game of Thrones is what's always going to make it one of my favorites.
Yeah,
like I love going back and watching certain things.
Anytime it's on TV, it's like, oh, let's watch this.
Yeah, for sure.
Except for in front of the kids.
Yeah.
Just Ralphie, also thank you very much. Much love to your channel. I actually drew the Night King on my Insta page. I was hoping you guys can see it. And Jon Snow too.
Yeah, we'll go take a look at that for sure.
Just Ralphie. I'm gonna go look there.
Craig Lyons has a lot of questions, so we'll run through some of these. Thoughts on Sansa and Tyrion being together? Do you think they're going to be together? That doesn't make sense.
No, Sansa's not having that shit.
I don't think. Yeah, I think she's done with Tyrion as a partner. I mean, a power couple, kind of. But yeah, I don't know if that'll happen. Do you think Brandon will marry? Oh, that's dope.
That is. I can't really see it that good. But I just followed you back, Ralphie.
That is super awesome.
That's dope.
Do you think?
Look at that.
Oh,
Gamora.
Very cool.
Yes.
Do you think Brandon's going to marry?
No.
No. I mean, he's technically not Brandon anymore, so.
You can't see it. That's so good.
It's really hard.
It's really good. You're an excellent artist.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Wait, hold on. Last one.
Jon Snow.
I'll stop putting you on blast, Ralph.
Jon Snow.
Even got the little like part in his hairline where like the one side comes down farther than the other. Look at you.
All right, I see a good question. What's your favorite episode?
Shoot.
I gotta pull up the list. I know exactly which episode it is. I forget what it's called.
I don't know. Thank you, Nico. And then thank you, Brandon, also again. I'm still convinced Gendry was a true-born son of Cersei and Robert. The seeds for that were planted in first season in the book, never harvested. So, best episode.
I think
honestly, this one. I'm gonna have to say this one where Arya puts Frey's face on.
Yeah, that was.
Kills his whole family. Like
that was spectacular. I think my favorite episode, I know it's, yeah, 100% my favorite episode was The Winds of Winter, the season 6 finale. The combination between learning the nugget of Jon,
yeah,
and then anytime they do King in the North, like that shit just gives me crazy like chills. Like when they did it with Rob, that was amazing, and then when they did it with Jon, it was just like, oh, that's my dude. That's so awesome. So like the combination between the flashback of seeing baby Jon and then the shot of his face and then minutes later being like little Lyanna doing the whole, like, I don't care if he's a bastard speech. Like, oh my, that shit, like it's giving me chills right now just talking about it. Like that was so dope. So yeah, I think that was my favorite episode, hands down, without question. Without question.
Thank you to Cameron Turk. I'm from Scotland. Yep. Wow.
You're having trouble tonight.
I'm struggling. Cameron Turk. Hi, from Scotland. I'm pretty sad that I finished watching your reactions to Game of Thrones. I've really enjoyed it. You guys are the best. I'm also an animal lover like you, Nikki. I'm a massive Game of Thrones fan. Wish you the best for you guys. Thank you.
So finishing.
Where are all my animal lovers out that? Yeah.
Wow.
I just can't.
Finishing up Craig's post. Future spinoff where Jon is somehow the Night King. If there's any children of the forest left, I don't see why not. The show ended with him riding into the woods. Imagine in 10 years a spinoff that starts with him riding out of the woods as the Night King. Interesting, but I don't see that.
Thank you, Nina. Love you too. Nina LaBoy. I can't speak today. The words will not come out of my mouth the way that they are said in my head.
Wow. I mean, I feel like there's definitely something, and this is probably one of the letdowns for me with John, is that he was clearly more than just a dude.
Yeah.
Like I totally got a vibe. Excuse me. That he was.
Would you like some green tea?
That he had. I've got something right here. That he had died multiple times.
I do need a glass of wine, and actually, I wanted a Guinness before we got started, but that's not gonna happen.
And you know, it never came to light. Like obviously, the whole Prince That Was Promised thing. Like there's theories out there, and there's explanations that he fulfilled that prophecy, which I read made sense. That the Dark Knight wasn't necessarily about the Night King and the Walkers, but about Daenerys and her destruction. But like, I feel like John's story should have been fleshed out more.
Can't speak. They still love me. Thanks, Scott. Scott, is that Koenig? Thank you very much. I'm trying to talk here. I'm trying to not speak. I'm trying to mess up every word. Redheads north of the wall, look out. Jon Snow is on the prowl.
Yes.
It's been a blast watching you react to this series. As a fan of reactions, The Red Wedding was my favorite to watch. Ooh, because you like to watch me cry.
That was, I mean.
Why does everybody love that?
That was probably the most intense scene of the show. I mean, the moment the Reigns of Castamere starts playing, it's like, oh my God, like what is happening? And then they friggin' took out Talisa.
Yes.
Her baby, stabbed her right in the stomach.
And they lived happily ever after.
Tormund and Tormund and Jon Snow.
Thank you to Maritza Navarro. Love you guys. I would love for Arya to have her own show, Going to Find Out What's Out West.
Yeah, I think they actually confirmed that that's not going to happen, unfortunately. Because that would be super fascinating to go on these adventures with Arya. Because, I mean, outside of Jon Snow, she was my second favorite character in the whole show. Mm-hmm. Her arc and her development from basically becoming a bratty little kid to becoming the greatest savage in the land. It's like, you're a little G, little girl.
Do you think that Sansa will put Barra Island up for sale?
Do they do that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't have enough information to comment on that.
Where did Westworld come up?
Westworld.
Maybe Nikki should react to Game of Thrones Animal Death compilation. No!
That exists? Jeez.
That's awful.
That's horrible.
You people are heartless.
Read Chris's post.
Chris Hernandez. If the series ended with the Night King attacking King's Landing and everyone struggling to survive and the final survivor being the king or queen, who do you think it would have been? Or who would you have wanted it to be? I feel like the long night should have been the final episode. That would have ended way more epic.
I could see that.
Nina, thank you again. Hold on, let me finish this one. We'll get to that one. If the series ended with the Night King attacking King's Landing and everyone struggling to survive and the final survivor being the king or queen, what do you think it would have been? Are we talking about Robert and Cersei? Or are we talking about the Night King being the last to survive? Because if the Night King was the last to survive, that's what he wanted all along. He wanted everyone dead, the Night King being the last. Yeah, that would have the last one.
I think they're saying the final survivor. If there was a final survivor after the battle, who would it be? I think Arya would make the most sense for that.
Yeah.
Or John.
Okay, but like down there in King's Landing, they all would have died.
Well, yeah, probably.
They don't. I just don't think they have the wits.
If they ended the show, they're
not used to winter.
If they ended the show, Army of the Dead, then and there was one survivor remaining, I think Arya would be the best, most logical choice for one single survivor.
Killing.
John Hampton.
Let me go to Nina. John and a strong redhead married by Tormund have 6 kids. When they find out the dad is, when they find out who dad is, they'll vie for the throne. Arya supports favorite niece.
So John Hampton, I only have one question. Did you ever find out the punchline to the joke about the honeycomb and the jackass? That was my biggest disappointment, actually. Love you guys. Peace.
Yes.
So we've seen some stuff circling around the internet about this honeycomb, the joke being finished.
Shall I read it?
Go for it.
Joke about the honeycomb and a jackass. Tyrion walks into a brothel with a honeycomb and a jackass. Madame, what can we do for you? Tyrion, I need a woman to lay with, for mine has left me. Madam, whatever for? And what's with the honeycomb and the mule? Tyrion, my woman found a genie in a bottle, and he granted her 3 wishes. The first was for a house fit for a queen, so he gave her this damn honeycomb. The second wish was that she have the nicest ass in the land, so he gave her this damn donkey. Madam, and what would the third with? What about the third with?
Wow. With.
I'm just gonna wish. Tyrion. Well, she asked the genie to make my hang down past my knee. Madam, well, that one's not so bad, eh? Tyrion, not so bad. I used to be 6'3".
I don't know. I have no idea where that came from or what that is, or if that's official or anything, but it's been making its rounds, and sure, that sounds funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the huge.
I laughed, but I like, stupid jokes.
The whole.
Not that it's, you know what I mean.
Just the fact that he said it.
Like a dad joke a little bit.
Just the fact that he said it in the finale and then never paid it off. Like come on, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, Bill.
Yes. Hold on. I'm trying to get back to the. Okay, Bill. Best heel and babyface of secondary characters: Tormund, Gendry, Littlefinger, etc. Best babyface?
Brienne.
Yeah.
Brienne. Best babyface. Best heel? Since Joffrey didn't last that long, could he be considered secondary character? Even though he was the focus for when he was on the show? Because I picked Joffrey as... I feel like Littlefinger was... he didn't really do anything. Well, he killed that was one thing. He killed Oberyn, which awful, sucks.
Davos. That's right.
Sir Davos is, he's definitely, I think him and Brienne are the 2 clear choices for mid-character babyface superstars. They definitely deserve that IC title, for sure.
Okay. Oh, you're on.
Yeah, I could see that. Jared Wilde. So there's been a lot of dissatisfaction with the last season, but I'd like to ask something on the flip side. Which of the main characters' endings were you most satisfied with, and why? That was actually a difficult one to pick for me personally being satisfied. Like, I was happy with where Jon ended. I didn't like how he got there. I didn't like the travel to him becoming that. I didn't like that it was Little or a Grey Worm that ultimately determined his fate. I didn't like that they completely ignored the whole Aegon Targaryen thing. I liked that he went back north beyond the wall with Tormund, got to be with Ghost. I'm satisfied with that. I don't know if we could consider him a main character, but regardless, the ending that was most satisfying for me was the Hound. The fact that he...
What did I say before? I said Sansa.
You picked Sansa, earlier.
I don't know. I feel like she put up with so much bullshit that by the end, she finally got some good stuff.
She looked like a G with that little crown on, sitting as the queen in the north. Totally. But the Clegane Bowl, something I could never say properly, that I think was my highlight of... I don't know if it was the highlight of the whole season, but it was definitely in my top 3. That I felt was shot amazing. I thought the outcome was just perfect. The fact that he just tackled his brother and they both fell into a ball of fire, it was just so fitting. And we even got a little homage to the mountain, squeezing the eyeballs. That fight was just so even the subtle quick moment of Cersei just being okay, I'm gonna go over here. Just her walking by was, I thought everything about that
shit
was
cracked
awesome.
me up so much.
Cersei.
Yeah. Thank you to Mouse House Studio. You guys are awesome. I'm excited to watch Vikings with you. Thank you. We love it so far. And also thank you to, is that like Lilia Monterosa? I'm not very happy with the ending, but it is what it is. But if I could make my own ending, Jon would die fighting and Dany would have died but by giving birth to Jon and her son, the true king. Love you guys. Love you too.
If Daenerys died in childbirth, I might have had a chance to win my work Game of Thrones Deadpool. Because she was my highest. I was the most confident in her dying, and I picked that she was going to die by childbirth.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I would have gotten
that's how I thought.
I would have gotten like double points for that.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Also from Just Ralphie, thank you again. Just thanks for the follow. By the way, I like Cersei's death symbolically. Her whole life collapsed on her. Like that's what she wanted. King's Landing. And
I mean,
we have a meme.
There's an amazing meme for her death.
There's a meme.
Oh my god. It's just,
where is it?
They released, like, the photo got released. All they do is just completely shoot themselves in the foot by releasing such a photo.
And you can't really see it, but it's the rubble.
Yeah, there's a lot. Look at the circle right there.
There's nothing on the side, and it says, so basically what you're saying is Jaime and Cersei could have lived if they moved 10 feet to the right.
Just be like, oh my god, move over here.
Yeah, right. Damn it.
Like, that's, like, why post that photo? Like,
right.
Why make it so easy for Tyrion to just navigate through underneath down there? Like, he just walked through there like no problem.
Spot where no bricks.
It's just totally shooting yourselves in the foot.
Thank you to Bill A. Things I've heard that may help make Mad Dany more believable. 1, Rhaegal gets killed as Dany attacks King's Landing in episode 5 instead of 4. 2, bells don't ring when the soldiers throw down their swords. Thoughts?
I mean, the whole bells thing feels...
It was like pointless. There's nothing like...
It's just, if that's... I haven't heard official anything from the creators about if the bells are officially what set her off. But, I mean, I don't know. That's such a hard... I feel like that's so hard. That's a really difficult thing. Like, yeah, I don't think I have a good answer for that. I really don't.
Mm-mm.
Like, the actual idea of her doing it always made sense in my brain, but the execution of it, again, a rushed situation where it's hard to like even break down exactly what happened. It was just more. It was. Even though it was kind of expected, it was still very shocking.
Somebody said Dany is more ruthless than Thanos. I don't know about that.
I mean, Thanos eliminated trillions.
Just by...
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
That was a weak snap. Yeah. Thanos eliminated trillions of people. Dany destroyed a city.
Yeah. Thank you to Simon. Is that Kilday? Guys, just admitted nothing about season 8 made sense.
I'm not going to admit that because
there were some stuff that did make sense.
There was stuff that clicks and makes sense for me. That's your opinion. I absolutely don't agree. Like, Brandon being king makes sense because he could foresee everything. Yeah. He had control and power over people that he knew where and how and why things were playing out.
Oh, like, that's no pain.
What?
They had no pain when he went like that.
Oh, but I mean, they still the half of the civilization still had to live without their loved ones.
Yeah,
like
I mean, there was emotional pain.
Yeah, there's still a lot of pain. Patrick Smith, if you guys wanted to continue your For the Throne Fridays, which likely won't happen, Mojo watch.
We don't want to. It's just that we don't have time for it.
Mojo, once we get our schedule and everything like for the rest of the year kind of laid out, I think we could incorporate some Game of Thrones stuff,
things.
And we could add some Breaking Bad videos too.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to watch any of the Bad things,
which we've been talking about for a while. We got to get a list going.
Yeah.
So
thank you again to Adrian Webb. Fan theories led to disappointment. Do you agree?
I think fan theories are a very dangerous thing because, one, there are a lot of really smart, really creative people out there. Mm-hmm. And coming up, like I come up with theory, like it's one thing that I love to do. I love Like, and it's something I do with Star Wars a lot. Sorry, Star Wars. It always comes back to Star Wars. I love coming up with theories and talking theories with my buddies, but it's a dangerous thing if you hear a theory that you love so much and it's like it builds into the expectation of what you see coming. Yeah, fan theories and just theories in general could be super dangerous. Like there's a theory.
I mean, I think hopes up to certain things.
Totally.
Just
like I don't really set my expectations like that. Like I could hear a bunch of really great theories and be like, oh, that's dope. That would be awesome if it plays out. And then I could separate myself from it and then watch the product.
Well, AJ's like, it's not what happened, it's how it happened.
Totally, exactly. And I think that's the key. It's just how it got rushed. There weren't enough episodes. The episodes could have been 2 hours long. And it still wouldn't have been enough. They needed to be 7 and 8 both needed to be minimum 10 episodes, like every other season. So yeah, I love theories. I love what the fans break down. It's just some people, and I know plenty of, like, one of the guys at work doesn't want to hear a word about any theories going into any Marvel movie because it sets expectations and it creates a certain level of what I want to see happen. When that doesn't happen, then there's an immediate level of just disappointment. And so there are a lot of people out there like that who can't separate. So yeah, I love theories. I totally believe that that's probably one of the reasons why a lot of people were let down. They had a vision of what they wanted to see, and then it didn't play out. And it's like, oh, that sucks, which is normal, immediate reactions for people.
Wanted to go back to Monica Shook. Where do you live? Is it 8:45 a.m. or p.m.? It's p.m. Oh,
so you can see our clock.
Yeah. It's nighttime. Can't do this while the kids are awake.
Yeah, we're in Southern California.
Yes.
Eric Horstman. Cersei deserved an epic death instead of going out with a bang, more like a whimper.
Yeah.
See, I totally agree with the idea of her going out with a bang, but at the same time, her and Jamie were both total addicts, and just it always went back to they regardless of what they thought and felt and said, like it always just came back to the two of them. The way they died together, like obviously that photo makes it look really bad.
Yeah, it does.
But the idea of them together holding each other while their world is collapsing on top of them, maybe I've talked myself into thinking that works for me, but that works for me. Like, would I've loved to see her?
I mean, I don't
getting eaten by Drogon or something crazy like that. Yeah, absolutely. Like just watching Daenerys just fly into the keep and grab Cersei and just rip her apart over the King's Landing. Yeah, that would have been super dope. But also,
she's pregnant, and that's not cool.
We don't know that.
She said she wanted her baby to live at the very last second. I think she would have gave up on that lie if it was a lie.
Yeah, maybe she wanted to keep Jamie twisted all the way to the end. Who knows? We'll never know.
Thank you to Ben Kohlmeyer. Love your reactions. I really hope you're still reacting when Wheel of Time comes out on Amazon. Amazing book series, and it's completed. I hope so too.
What was that? I was reading another comment. What was that about?
Sorry. Wheel of Time comes out on Amazon. I don't know anything about it.
Is that one of the books?
I don't know.
Oh, I didn't heard that. I'm still stuck on book 2.
He's been listening to them. I don't even have the time to listen to a damn book.
It's a task, y'all. The books are hardcore. I had trouble retaining information on the show, and I'm obviously a way more visual person than I am reading or listening. But damn, the books are so intense with detail, and there is no question George is going to tell. I fully believe the outcomes are going to be the same, but the dude's going to have 100 pages.
Author. Ben said different author.
Oh, okay.
I'll Google that. Lena Headey.
Leah Headey.
Didn't like her ending.
I'm sure she didn't.
Yeah. Sure she wanted to, and Fernando said it's a different book series.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure she wanted to, make it a way more dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, she's
fantastic ending.
Cersei Lannister, in my eyes, has gone down probably as one of my top 5, if not top 5, top 10 villains of anything that I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Like, she was phenomenal as a bad guy. So, yeah, I understand why she would feel that way. Read this one.
Miranda Rojas. Hey, guys, what has been your favorite about the last season? Since there's so much negativity going around, name something good.
I've got a few.
I mean,
I wrote down a few things that I thought were good about this season that I liked.
okay.
Give
it to me.
So Theon's redemption is one of them.
Oh, that was so good.
I thought his story, the way his story was wrapped up in this season, was absolutely spectacular. He had some of the most emotional moments of this season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought Theon was absolutely amazing this season. I enjoyed Arya and Jon's reunion. That was
good.
Cute for a minute.
That was.
Arya in the Hound's final scene was so good.
Don't be like me.
It was so good. And then, like, Sandor, like, thank you. Like the way Arya said that to him, it was just like, it was epic.
Yeah.
Arya and the Hound. The Clean Bowl, like I mentioned, I thought was fantastic. Brienne being knighted by Jaime and then her finishing Jaime's story in the book was, I know that turned into probably one of the more heavily memed things, but Brienne this season was spectacular.
Anybody else, please tell me, go back to the chat for a second. Tell me, is there anybody else who, after she was writing and she shut it, was like, no, the ink is still wet? Because I thought about that and I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to be like petty or whatever. But I'm like, dude, the ink is wet. You didn't even do anything. Yes. You didn't blot it.
Someone mentioned the cinematography. Visually, the show was
See, everybody's like, I did.
Some more stuff. Lyanna, Jorah, Melisandre, Beric, and Theon's deaths in the Battle of Winterfell, I thought were perfect. I thought they all went out exactly like they should have. The smallest person on the battlefield killed the biggest thing.
Yeah.
The whole Arya's not today moment and then killing the Night King. I know people have problems with how she accomplished that. I thought it was awesome. She, after like more conversation and thought and talking about it, like Arya was the most well-trained person.
Yeah.
She
was no one.
The best way my buddy put it at work was Jon had one approach to fighting. He would charge, he would just jump into the mix, do his thing, and then when that didn't work, he didn't have a plan B. Daenerys tried to burn him with fire. Like, that was her plan A. If that didn't work, she never really had a plan B. Arya she went in to jump to kill the dude, got caught. Her plan A failed. She dropped the knife, caught it, stabbed him. Plan B. She had more ways of approaching the death and killing the Night King. And plus, like, she had already proven that she could sneak up on people. And there was a shot where one of the White Walkers like turned because she kind of breezed by them and snuck past them. So that whole thing was great. What else did I write down?
Let
me finish these.
To Bill.
Let's finish these first.
Okay,
let's finish these first.
Okay.
Jon's goodbye to his family, I thought was great. The whole Queen in the North, like I said, every time they do that, it's just so great. And then thank God they gave us Jon and Ghost.
Yes.
That moment was great as well. So there were plenty of really good things. Obviously, there's still a bunch of bad, and it's really your choice on what you want to focus on. I'm kind of tired of focusing on all the negative and want to try to focus on what was good.
Bill Stevens, James Oliver Rigney Jr., a.k.a. Robert Jordan, wrote the Wheel of Time series completely different from...
Okay. Very much appreciative.
Appreciated.
Alberto, patron, your comments on season 1's poster with Ned Stark sitting on the throne
with boy in the North goes.
With a raven next to him. Coincidence or foreshadowing? That is pretty crazy that has popped up now, that there's a raven sitting on the throne with Ned. That is, I think that's 100% done on purpose as a foreshadow. I don't think they accidentally put a raven on the throne with Ned in the season 1 poster. That's pretty crazy. Jess De La Rosa, Game of Thrones is and always will be my favorite show, but season 8 was really anticlimactic for me. It left me with blue balls. I actually missed
Jess.
The Night King, haha. Steven, what were your coworkers think of the last season? I hadn't had a chance. My schedule's been completely out of whack last week, and it's going to be kind of wacky again this week. I haven't had a chance to talk to my super insane, crazy, hardcore coworker who literally knows more about Game of Thrones than anyone I've ever come across in my entire life. But some of my other coworkers, they're on the same page with a lot of other people. They agree with you that I was anticlimactic. Some stuff didn't make sense.
Drogon is the true king. He is.
He is, yeah, for sure.
Sorry, go ahead.
One of my coworkers just really couldn't get over the idea of how much walking around was done during certain moments.
Yeah.
Felt like that time was wasted, could have been spent other places. But yeah, overall, the people at work basically had the same consensus as a lot of people. It's tough. It's just a tough situation.
Do we really agree with the character flips?
If we're talking about Daenerys,
Johnny Boyd.
If we're talking about Daenerys, I agree with that. It's something that I have felt coming for a long time.
There's your broski, Cody.
What's up, Cody? And Jamie, yeah, like the whole Jamie thing, like people were upset that his redemption arc was ruined, and it's like, what if that was never meant to be his fight? Like, what if he was never meant to be redeemed? That was like I thought we had a comment a little bit ago that we featured in the podcast about like Jamie being an addict and being addicted to his sister.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of,
it fits.
Yeah,
it completely fits.
Makes sense.
He had one last withdrawal and he buckled. He crumbled and couldn't deal with the idea of not being with her as they died. Like, it was where he was meant to be. I never believed once it was wrapped up that his story was supposed to end positively. Like,
voice of judgment. If he said, "I don't want it," one more time.
am I saying that a lot?
No, John. I don't want it.
Oh yes. Like, yeah.
Yes, flame of.
We get it.
Is it? I don't want it.
Yeah, we know, John. We know.
Anyway,
too bad it ended up not mattering.
Yeah.
And then Jess with the final patron comment asking if we're planning on going to the Game of Thrones live concert. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see as it gets closer.
Yeah, hopefully.
So that's all the patron questions. I think we're caught up on super chats. So now
scroll to the top.
Yeah, let's go through some comments that you guys have posted in here.
Oh wait, hold on. Super chat. Brandon, did you guys see the John Hughes ending, Someone Made of Game of Thrones, where the screen freezes and we see what happened to each character? It's awesome.
Oh, yes. Hilarious.
I haven't seen that. I want to see that.
I'll show you after we're done. It was really, really well done. It was really cool.
Marc, is that Local? I didn't expect a fight between Grey Worm, or I did expect a fight between Grey Worm and John.
There's another one. Like, you could have eliminated the Jamie and Euron fight, which completely made no sense, and had a Grey Worm John fight, and it would have been probably more epic of an exit for Grey Worm to be killed by John than to just disappear on the boat.
I mean, it's sad, but I mean, also nice that he went to Noth, but also just kind of shit. I don't know.
Like, we're going to have all these ultimatums about what happens.
I totally wanted to see Bran be like, okay, Grey Worm's gone. John, you could stay now.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Dova Bear, Sir Davos going from being illiterate to correcting Braun's grammar in the last episode gets my vote for best character development. And I agree. That was so bomb. Yeah. Shireen's work paid off.
It was, I mean, Davos, that little council that they had at the end, like, what a group.
It was kind of cheesy, but yeah.
But like that group of characters, fantastic. Yeah. And Bronn got his castle.
Yes, he did. Metal Charlo, it doesn't matter because he doesn't want it because she is his queen. Jon Snow, season 7 through 8. That's true.
Yep, totally.
Melanie, second try, LOL. You guys are my favorite reactors. Game of Thrones is awesome, but you are in for a ride with Vikings. Notes will be good. Well, good because I am taking the notes.
Nikki's notes are epic. They help so much because if I had to take notes during a show, I would have no clue what was going on in the show.
Yeah.
But like
I'm a good multitasker.
I've gotten so much better at retaining information watching shows like this now. Because when we started, like the first time we tried to watch Game of Thrones, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I can't keep track of all this shit. Like I still struggled. I struggled a lot, but like it helps. Like I was able to remember characters' names within first 2 episodes of Vikings, so that was exciting. Like it's just,
well, I think
I'm forced to focus.
We have to pay more attention.
Yeah, you guys keep me in check and make me need to not sound like a total moron as I'm watching these shows. That's just the truth.
Thank you to Bubbles. What's your favorite and least favorite episode of the series? Love you guys. Love you too.
What did I say? I forget the name of it every time.
Are you guys a couple or best buddies? We're husband and wife.
Yeah, we're married. 10 years, yo.
10 years.
We never wear our rings on.
No, because it's like the end of the day.
Yeah, it's our night.
I just take it off.
It's our nighttime, so we're kind of on
face of makeup, but I take everything else off.
Yeah, we're unwound by the time we get on the videos. The Winds of Winter is my favorite episode. Mentioned that earlier. My least favorite episodes is anything at Dorne, really. I thought the whole Dorne storyline was kind of blah.
But I mean, it was the poison, the lips. I don't know if I have a least. When they killed John, that was my least favorite.
Oh, that was.
Fuck that shit. I actually got up. I was like,
you threw your notes at me.
I know.
You threw your notes at me.
Fuck that. Oh, yeah, Sansa getting
that was
abused. That was fucking awful.
All of that with Sansa was just. Everything that girl went through was just so insane.
From Bill, thank you. Stephen, imagine going for your master's in English creative writing and keeping notes on your own stories. Brain explosion. I keep telling him he needs to take like creative writing class. He tells me no.
Why?
It's good for you.
For what?
I just think it's good for you.
I
think it would be excellent to just expand your knowledge on like stories and stuff.
Maybe
I need to take a creative writing class because I can't even speak words.
I've been out of school for a long time. I don't want to go back ever again. That's just the situation now. We got a Twitter question from Charmed. Will we
tell him, Nikki?
Will we be watching the Game of Thrones documentary tomorrow night? Yeah, we're gonna watch it. We're not gonna react to it.
He couldn't edit that.
No, I'm not. We're not gonna. I think it's like 2 hours.
Thank you a little bit. You guys are cute.
Thanks. Yeah, we're definitely going to watch that for sure. I don't know if we're going to catch it live because, like I mentioned earlier, schedule's kind of messed up, so we got to like cram a bunch of stuff in this weekend, and I have to work on Monday. Damn it! But it's all good. But yeah, we'll watch it for sure at some point. I don't know immediately when, but you know.
But since it is also Memorial Day, thank you to all of our men and women of the service.
Thank you. We would not be here if it wasn't for y'all.
Yeah.
So.
How you liking Vikings so far?
Dope.
It's fucking awesome.
That show is like right up my alley.
It's fantastic.
Of all time, they all fit the same type of like. I like violence. I like fighting, and I like history. I don't retain history well. I don't like being taught history in school, but I like watching like Braveheart. Amazing. And I know it's super dramatically done and over exaggerated, but like 300 is amazing. Like stuff like that.
I love 300.
Like those movies are some of my favorite things. So like Game of Thrones fits. I love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's good too.
Vikings fits right into all of that for me personally.
Support gaming. I see you. I just every single time you go by, it's not. I'm not trying to ignore anybody. Please don't think that. Says, will they never answer my question? Will they? Super chats keep popping up, and they keep reading those instead of chat. I wish that you could see this. When the super chat pops up, it's like,
well, they see the same thing.
I don't know.
I think that's what it looks like.
I don't think that they do.
What's your question? Throw it in there right now, and we'll answer your question. We don't want to. Do
you mess with Dragon Ball?
No. I've never seen 1 second of Dragon Ball.
Darth Revan, hey man, 300 is awesome.
All right, waiting for your question. Where are you at? We're staring.
Meaning of life? I don't know.
With Fernando, there you go.
To love each other? I don't know.
All right, we're sitting here waiting on you, buddy.
Hurry up! Bill!
Oh, as a super chat pops up.
As a super chat pops up. Bill, as a veteran, Memorial Day is to remember those who have lost their lives. Veterans Day, you can thank us. Memorial Day is a day of remembrance.
Yes.
I'm still going to thank you regardless, but I do appreciate all those who have fallen and those who are currently serving and those who have served. So I do appreciate that. Thank you, Bill. Where is it?
Are we going to watch? I say it wrong every time.
What? Chernobyl.
Yeah.
We'll
watch Chernobyl at some point.
Yeah.
The highest rated show on IMDb, which, I mean, IMDb ratings don't mean anything, but IMDb rating, it's the highest rated show ever now. So, yeah, we'll get to that at some point. We can't watch it now. Our schedule's too jammed up.
Yeah.
So.
Where is this question, yo?
Did he
get in here now?
Did he lose hope and just leave on us? Did he bounce?
Come on. Yes, Nikki, pretty Nikki, one of our moderators.
No, I don't watch Star
is
Trek.
Fantastic.
I don't watch Star Trek.
Did we just become best friends? Cody, my broski. Cody, you're the best.
All right, I guess he.
I don't see you in here, man.
All right.
I will search for you though. Hold on. Let me go to the top. If you're in here now. Super gamer. I don't.
Can you control F on it?
I don't know.
Without breaking anything?
No, I just don't. No, it doesn't help me. Get out of there. It doesn't help me.
Yes, it does. It's highlighting them.
0 out of 0.
Mm-hmm. Exit out.
Steven from Bill again. Oh, wait, no, that's not right. Steven, imagine going for your master's in English. Oh, no, that's right. That's the same too.
Mm.
Where is it, dude?
Put it at like when you put at Nikki Steve React,
it highlights orange.
It shows it for us. So I mean, we're gonna start wrapping this up soon because it's been over an hour.
Darth Revan, I don't have any shows in common with you guys now. We'll catch up.
We'll watch Vikings. It's awesome.
Come with us. Follow us.
Watch Better Call Saul. People say it's awesome.
I am not seeing this. Oh, Bill, it's not. No, I understand. Thank you. Is it bad of me getting angry at people for not keeping the two holidays separate? No,
absolutely not.
No, not at all. So there he is. Still don't understand why the Night King looks like Bran in face, and why did Bran react in pain when the human becoming the Night King got stabbed?
I mean, that was Nikki's initial reaction.
I always thought that Bran looked like the Night King. I don't know.
I mean, again, we're probably, like I mentioned earlier, I have a very strong feeling I'd be willing to bet everything that we're gonna get the full backstory of the Night King in this prequel series. Like they're gonna lay it all out, give us every answer to every question that we've had about the Night King. It again, dangerous and unfortunate that we wouldn't get that information in the Game of Thrones actual show. But yeah, I think we're getting all of that stuff in the prequel because I think that's what the premise of the show is going to be, is the beginning of the Night King and the White Walkers and all that's good stuff.
And how it all happened.
Building of the wall. I think we're getting all of that.
That would be cool. World Gaming Champion. If you could only change one thing from season 8, what would it be?
10 episodes.
Yeah, the length. Thank you from Wandering Marine Veteran. Thank you. Hey all, I do a 24-hour live stream once I get my 1,000 done in maybe a month and am processed. Any advice? I will find a partner and such.
A 24-hour live stream? That's hardcore.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
One of my buddies,
just for your health benefits.
one of my buddies who who's pretty big on YouTube, did it.
Just say his name.
Julian
Solonita.
Yeah, he did an hour.
You know, Jenna Marble's boyfriend.
Yeah, he did a 20. I think he's done multiple 24-hour game streams on his Twitch channel. It's hardcore. That is really hardcore stuff. Good luck with that if you end up doing it.
Yeah. And the Coves F throwback series. How about The Wire?
The Wire, it's something that we've researched. It's something that we've had, I think, on one vote prior. It's definitely something we'll look into at some point. I mean, people put it up there with some of the best, as the best show of all time. People,
yeah, I hear a lot about it. I mean,
people say
always
that, so
suggest it.
It's just a matter of us feeling like it's something that will click with us, and including it in one of the final votes, getting it in there. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get to The Wire at some point.
And then thank you to ExoBlur1. Love you guys. Always loved watching you guys. Thank you. And then also thank you to DKev00. Have you seen Last Kingdom on Netflix? Same vein as Game of Thrones and Vikings.
We have not. No.
I wish I could just sit down and watch TV. It's hard to even do that now.
There was a question about where to go. The Westworld season 3 trailer. We accidentally watched it.
It was before Game of Thrones started.
So we were watching. We were
beginning to watch Game of Thrones
because we saw Jesse Pinkman.
And I was like, hey, what? And then we saw the W, and I was like, oh.
It looked really weird. It didn't look like Westworld.
No, it didn't.
But we had all kinds of Westworld. I don't know if we're going to react to Westworld again.
No, they like to claim videos.
They were pretty brutal on us. So
we had a lot of problems. That, and as you know, Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Lots of problems with that.
It's Black Mirror is the reason we don't do WB TV shows.
Yeah.
Or no, Westworld's the reason why we don't do WB TV shows.
There you go. There you go.
Someone asked if I was a gamer. I was. I grew up, all I did was play video games. And then getting married, having kids.
I didn't do it. We just didn't have time.
And then the time just slipping away from me.
I'm like, don't anybody blame me for taking games away from him. I didn't do that.
But I'm gonna my plan is to get back into video games. I just built a beautiful PC. Corey, thank you for the help on that. This computer is in a week has probably changed my life for the better.
Yeah.
It used to take me, and I had the computer we're working on right now. It's a 2015 MacBook Pro. It's the last MacBook Pro where you had all the good inputs. I forget what year that is. And it's a good computer. It serviced me for a good year editing when my tower crashed on me, basically. It would take an hour to upload it basically was like a real-time export on this thing. It takes 15 minutes to export an hour clip on the new computer.
What is WTV?
Warner Brothers.
WB TV.
WBTV. Warner Brothers TV. They're the ones who produce. I mean, I'm 100% going to get the new Star Wars game when it comes out and play that. But yeah, Warner Brothers, they're the ones who produce. They're like the official producer and distributor of a shit ton of TV shows.
Yeah.
Westworld being one of them. It's The 100 is a show that we get a lot of requests for. That's a WB TV show. Most of the stuff on the CW, all the really good popular shows, those are pretty much WB shows. There's a whole bunch of them, and we're not the only ones. I've seen all kinds of issues with reactors and stuff, but dispute system on YouTube where you can actually select reaction video as a dispute, as if someone tries to claim the video.
I love that.
So it's evolving. It's getting better. Hopefully it keeps getting better.
Yeah.
So
support gaming. Bran's the real villain of Game of Thrones. He allowed everything to happen so he can become king.
Totally.
Right? Yeah, it's true.
100%.
If Steven gets abducted by aliens, can I go on a date with Nikki? No. If anything happens to Steven, I am never dating. I'm never getting married again. And I'm not doing this shit over again. Forget it. It's too much work, man. It's too much work.
You'll be dedicated to the children.
I will.
You could.
What?
Date if I disappeared.
Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't want to hear anymore. You should grow your hair out.
I don't say that.
No, not from you.
Oh.
It's just like people, like one of these chicks I know, she's like, oh yeah, you should totally grow your hair out. I'm like, why? Who cares? It's just hair.
Yes, we do everything while the kids are in bed.
Yeah.
They're
and we've already seen Dexter. We watched that years ago when it first came out.
Every second of it. The kids are actually sleeping together tonight. We're surprised we haven't had an incident.
I know, right? They're sleeping in the same bed. It's going to be crazy.
Someone asked if, hide that real quick.
Yeah.
Scroll up. Clone Wars. I've seen bits and I didn't get into Clone Wars. I've seen most of season 1. I know a new season's coming out. They're going to wrap it up finally. I want to try to get caught up. I'm just finding the time to do it is really hard. But I've seen all of Rebels. Rebels was great.
Yeah. Bill, I don't blame you for not understanding the differences between the holidays. Just had family and brothers. Well, we're all family who died while serving in active duty. Love you both. Thank you, Bill. Love you too.
Sorry, Bill.
I know. That's unfortunate.
I should know better.
I mean, I should too. My dad was in the military.
My dad was in the military.
They were both in the Vietnam War.
Bunch of my buddies and friends were military. So I should know better.
I know. I like to think whenever there's a military holiday of some kind, I always like to thank the active. I just want you to know that I appreciate it. This?
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you to Kim Tilton. Thank you for your hard work and bringing joy to many of us. Love you guys. Thanks. Love you too.
Appreciate that very much.
Nikki looks great with the Danny wig. All I'm saying, he's like, you should wear that today. And I'm like, that was so itchy. I can't do it. I am not a long hair person anymore.
I was struggling in my outfit. Like, I've never had, like, my hair was long because my mom waited a whole year to get my hair cut so my godmother could be there for the haircut. Yeah. My hair was like, as a 1-year-old, was like to my ears, I think. That's the longest my hair's ever been in my whole life. Yeah. It's always been high and tight. And wearing the wig was just like, this is so weird.
Yeah. Okay, when I had long hair, this is only like, what, 3 years old?
Something like that. It was progressive though.
But when I used to like have my hair down or whatever, I hated having my hair on me. So I would always put it up in a thing anyways.
Someone asked if I like the NBA. Yeah, I like all sports.
Chica88, what was the earliest we thought Jon might be Targaryen? I remember when Drogon let Jon approach him and Nikki and Steven asked, was he part Targaryen? Was there an earlier hint? I don't know.
People, my buddy that I talk about at work, who he's like all up in Reddit, like there are people who apparently guessed that early. Like I guess the signs are a lot heavier in the books that he's a Targaryen. But yeah, like I didn't catch on to that shit at all.
Fernando, I'm anti-hair, just saying. Fernando, I can't shave it all the way like you could.
I've had a shaved head before.
Yeah.
Oh, I take that back. I don't like all sports. Hockey and soccer are not my jam.
Aw,
sorry, y'all.
I'm not a dime. I'm a quarter piece, yo. Thank you, Cody. I'm blushing. What made you decide to cut your hair super short 3 years ago? I lost 60 pounds. And this was my gift to myself. I've always wanted short hair, and I'm like, okay, now that you lost the weight, you can cut your hair short. And it's like, cool. Cut it all off. It just got progressively shorter as I lost weight.
AJ doesn't like American sports.
Sorry.
Football's fun. I mean, it's a stupid sport. I played it for 8 years.
We always make the Casey. Is that Casey Prescott or Casey? Casey. I'm gonna go with Casey. You guys always make my day better.
Well, that's
60 pounds of hair? No. 60 pounds of fat.
Baby.
No, that was just not taking care of myself.
I mean, but
I just wasn't taking care of myself.
You had gigantic babies.
I did after that.
The babies were gigantic.
They were both almost 9 pounds.
And they did not help.
No. Each. I mean, they weren't twins or anything.
No.
But
They look like twins. People have
they
asked.
do.
They're 2 years apart. One's bigger than the other. But
yes, high and tight. Any other mommies out there? Yep. Any other mommies? I want to see. Put in the number 1 if you're a mommy.
Kobe or LeBron? LeBron all day, every day.
Saul, better call me. Thanks, Saul.
We're gonna call you later tonight.
Oh,
did you ask for a 1 for moms?
A 1. A 1 for the moms.
I'm like, why are all these ones?
Corey, you're not a mom. 9 pounds. How are you alive? The human body does amazing things.
Epidural.
Yeah. I don't care who you are. Don't be a hero. If they all get a baby out in the same way, get an epidural. Yes, 10 pounds. Yes, she's an MVP. Good God.
Wow.
So when you have the option of an epidural, why wouldn't you just take it? Just take it.
Someone asking
9 pounds. Good Lord.
Someone asking me about Benioff and Weiss doing Star Wars. I am extremely confident that they're going to be just fine.
What time is it where you guys live? It's 9:21 p.m.
Yeah. They are going to have an original story of their own. They're going to have an original story of their own. They're not going to have to finish the masterpiece of another author. These guys are talented. They're getting completely bombed. I get it. I have no issue. And if they're really getting a Knights of the Old Republic movie, full confidence in them, without question. They're going to kill Star Wars in a good way.
I'm reading all the baby weights. Good Lord.
Is there a lot of them in there?
I mean, my aunt.
I love Harry Potter.
One of my aunt's kids was 13 pounds. I'm like, good. What the hell? Oh, I feel bad for you women. Jeez.
There is a petition on Star Wars, and I don't agree with it. I don't agree with most of these. I want this petition about like entertainment. Like,
I don't do pain. I'll beat their ass if they bring a needle around me. Come on.
Let me tell you something. Watching
That's
them,
a whole ass toddler. It is.
Watching the guy who's, what do they call that guy?
The anesthesiologist.
Yeah, watching that dude.
I was about to say the esthetician.
Put the epidural into Nikki was one of the more horrifying things I've ever seen in my life. Because they're like sticking this super long, thin needle into her back. And I'm just like, where's that? Like, what? You keep pushing. Like, what are you doing? That shit was insane.
It felt amazing after.
That shit was insane.
Felt amazing after.
Okay, we got a couple more minutes because we do have to watch something tonight.
See, epidurals don't scare me because I'm not seeing it.
Right, you can't see it.
I'm just feeling the effects. If I don't have to see it happening.
Theories about Daenerys getting resurrected? Yeah.
Happy birthday, Geo Scandy.
What do you think of that? Daenerys getting resurrected.
As what?
Daenerys. She's being
brought
back to life. I don't know. How was Jon brought back to life? How was Beric brought back to life?
Yeah, but do you think?
I mean, I don't think we're going to see it because I don't think they're going to continue.
Drogon took Daenerys to some place that is, a follower of the Lord of Light.
Possible, but they're not going to continue any of these stories. They said so. I don't know. I mean, that'd be cool, but yeah, I think we've seen the end of all of our characters, and unfortunately, they do a good job with the prequel series and give us some more characters that we absolutely love, that's a big challenge. It's a big challenge because some of these characters were so iconic.
Fiona, you're welcome. I answered her question on Instagram. I really try to get to the Instagram questions. I really, really do. It's hard for me. I struggle with that. Another fan mail. Is that Leon the Silencer 117 on Instagram? Are you considering doing another fan mail on your YouTube channel?
Like, yeah, when we get stuff, we'll open it on. Yeah, for sure.
We just don't get anything.
Yeah, we haven't gotten anything in a while.
Yeah, the PO box is always open.
Yeah, if there's something, it's there. Don't ever feel obligated.
Yeah, please don't feel obligated. But I just, people have asked in the past, like, can we send you something? And so then we opened up a thing. So
all right, we're gonna wrap this up. If you got any last second questions, get them in right now. It's been almost an hour. It's been an hour and 20. It's been a good stream. It's been a good wrap party for Game of Thrones. Again, we've said it on the video.
Saul Compton in the house.
We said it on the video. On the reaction. We said it on the podcast, and we're gonna say it again. Thank you all very, very much for joining us on this journey of Game of Thrones. It was a life changer. It was amazing. All of the people that we've come across, you all know who you are. Everyone that's helped us along the way, keeping us 99.9% spoiler free through this entire journey. Absolutely spectacular. Everyone that has ever sent us something, anyone that has ever sent us a message, anybody that's ever interacted.
Wearing things that we've been sent. Like, exactly. This is awesome.
Anything that you guys have ever done in terms of sending a message, leaving a comment, just watching and clicking on our videos for Game of Thrones, we are absolutely blessed and thankful from the bottom of our hearts, because
you guys crack me up too. You're hilarious.
I've got a moment going on here.
I'm sorry.
You're just crashing on it.
You guys, but they're so funny. You guys are hilarious.
But yeah, just wanted to throw that out there again, because we are very grateful. So yeah, thank you very much for all of the support and continued support, because this is not ending. We are keeping this train busy and crowded, and we are just moving along. So
share with your friends.
And if you've never watched Viking or Better Call Saul, watch it with us. I think that's a fun thing to do. So.
Oh, thanks. Bill, last super chat. I respectfully disagree with some of your views on the show. Thank you, respectfully. I love you both, and when I get published, I'll send you a signed book. Read it, Steven. Thank you. He will.
Is there audio versions?
Thank you to that Pilar Ruan? A donation towards your Amazon Prime sign up. Hint, hint, Expanse.
The Expanse is insanely high on our list of stuff that we want to watch. There is absolutely 0% question. There is a 0% chance we will not watch it.
Somebody said stop watching WWE. How dare you?
Never. I need to go watch AEW though.
I don't watch it. He watches
their new pay-per-view. Their pay-per-view was on right before we got on this. I got to watch that at some point. But yeah, The Expanse, we are going to watch The Expanse one day without question. Hopefully we can get to it this year. I don't know. But our schedule is super, super jammed.
Chica 88. We had a horror story here. An anesthesiologist numbed 3 women from the waist up, and those poor women felt the surgeon cut into them from their C-section. Absolutely horrifying. Oh my God. My God.
That is horrible. Holy shit.
Oh my God. Okay, we're going to end on that.
Yeah. So.
You guys are awesome. I love you all so much. Dennis D. Hey, what's up? I haven't seen you. Oh man, that's some hardcore shit.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I broke a nail.
All right, y'all. That's gonna do it for this live stream. We're gonna, as our schedule calms down, we might jump on here a little bit more to talk with you guys, because we love the live interaction. It's so much fun. So yeah, we'll see you guys later. We're gonna go watch Better Call Saul. It's gonna be published on Monday, and then more Vikings on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, with a little
Christmas.
A little Cobra Kai mixed in.
Yep.
So we got one more super chat that just popped up.
Oh, Bill.
No, that's the right one.
No, he already did that.
Oh yeah, I wanted to comment about the disagreeing with us. Please disagree with me. Please. Like,
never disagree with me.
If everyone agreed with my takes, this would be a really, really weird place if everyone agreed with my opinions. So I love when people respectfully disagree. That's the key there, respectfully. So we'll see you guys later. Hope you guys have a good one, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Later.